Hello, and welcome to our attendees of our October 2020 GM and Self-Care event. Today is October the 12th, and we are well into our virtual conference and glad that you've joined this online community. I hope you're ready to inhale some general merchandise insights that will inspire and change the way you do business. My name is Mark McKelsey, and I lead the people and the projects that bring you insights, shopper trends, and next practices from Global Market Development Center and Retail Tomorrow. For the next half hour, this learning track will make your lunch hour profitable by demonstrating just how the curiosity and the power of the consumer must be at the center of your strategy. In other words, the way you've done things in the past is not the way your future success will happen. Retailers and brands, more than ever, must be adaptive and in constant flux, especially during this pandemic. This is what the new normal looks like, folks. So how you respond to this session is important. Without further ado, let's jump into it. I have Dave Wendland from Hamacher Resource Group joining me today from his office in Wisconsin. Today's learning track is about how the post-COVID retail landscape, with a focus on three key areas, namely labor savings, identifying missed opportunities, and overall better productivity is related to new merchandising solutions. Dave is a strategic partner of GMDC, is seated on our association's education council, and we welcome him as he brings insights to how to enhance and improve shoppability across all general merchandise categories. So, welcome, Dave. This session is all yours. I'll be here in the room the entire time if you wish to ask me any questions or let me know how I can help. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mark, for the kind introduction and for the opportunity to participate in the GMDC virtual event. I applaud GMDC's efforts. This is a monumental task to take something that was a co-located event and turn it into a virtual, living, breathing opportunity to have SECs, buyer's choice events, and some very meaningful topics. I'm especially pleased to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about, and that is the reinvention of merchandising. I must admit that since the first of the year, I had no idea how quickly the change was going to occur. We've accelerated so quickly in terms of the evolution of merchandising, the way the shoppers are experiencing and interacting with retail and brands, and what the future might hold in terms of technology and innovation. I've been with the Hamacher organization since 1992, and it undoubtedly has evolved in those 29 years. But in the last 9 months, the hands of time have turned especially quickly. And I look forward to sharing a few insights as to what I think the future of retail innovation and retail merchandising may include. In particular, I'm going to focus on 5 different topics. I'm going to begin by sharing a bit about what I feel the new realities are of today's retail landscape. I'm going to follow that with a look at some innovative approaches. Mark talked about innovation and speed to market as being critical levers in today's marketplace. There's been some wonderful response and some wonderful inspiration to draw from. Next, I'm going to share a couple of approaches to implementing and improving merchandising at store level to save labor, reduce cost, increase sales. Those are the important pivotal P&L elements that we want to ensure that we're buttoned up on. And lastly, we're going to talk about some retail imperatives, in particular 4 things that I feel are necessary for the future of survival in this very, very tumultuous retail landscape. So to get started, let's talk about some retail realities and what retailers and brands are doing to support and overcome the challenges of today. There are 7 elements on this page, and before I went through the editing process, there were about 30. I zeroed in on the 7 that I felt were most important. They're not in any particular priority rank, they are all important. First and foremost is the omni-channel presence. It has to be seamless and consistent in today's reality. Retailers are working to integrate the inventories between what's in store and what's online. The opportunity for a consumer to interact seamlessly between mobile and e-commerce and in-store has never been more important. Combine that with curbside pickup, micro-fulfillment, and everything else that goes with a changing omni-channel presence, and it will keep you very, very busy over the coming days. Secondly, supply chain disruption. This is not confined just to PPE. On the brand side, I've seen retailers and brands work together to rationalize assortments to really focus on those essential items that need to be ready and available for shoppers every day. We also have seen logistical improvements to the supply chain, whether again through micro-fulfillment efforts by retail or whether through improved logistics at the manufacturer side. We're seeing supply chains really stepping up to the challenge. The third reality is innovation. Doing what we did yesterday no longer works today. And I have witnessed some incredible innovations out in the marketplace as we speak. And that we will continue to see inventiveness and, as you'll see in a moment, inspiration drawn from some unlikely places. Space has also been under duress and will continue to be rationalized within a store. Making room for social distancing. Displays have been limited to not disrupt traffic flow. Speed of shopping has been emphasized. Re-merchandising categories to eliminate, as an example, in the cosmetics department, testers and samples. How do we still utilize space effectively, delivering a quality consumer experience, but make it done contactless? Safety for consumers and associates is an imperative. The retail reality is there have been measures taken to visibly improve the shoppability of a store and underscore the efforts that are underway to keep consumers safe. Likewise, putting in plexiglass shields and supplying associates with the necessary PPE to be able to interact with consumers safely and effectively, I really applaud the industry. The next reality is resource constraints. Now more than ever, retailers are challenged to do more with less. Less because of work from home, less because of childcare and circumstances that might restrict and reduce the availability of certain associates. Constraints on finance, constraints on resources overall, and investments still need to be made. And lastly, we see an incredible amount of speed in this marketplace. Remaining nimble, pivoting fast has become a reality. What once took months and years for decisions is now taking days or weeks. This will continue hereafter. So 2020 has indeed been a year like no other. I'm impressed with the response of retail members of GMDC and retail landscape in general, and realizing that it goes without saying that I've witnessed some extended examples of partnerships with suppliers that have really delivered exemplary service to consumers. Let me share with you a couple of things we've heard from CEOs over the last 9 months. Because time is money, CEOs are telling us that they've recognized technology, flexibility, and creativity are 3 ingredients for their survival. Here are some examples of what we have witnessed as inspiration in the marketplace. The first is inspiration coming from unlikely places. Walmart is an outstanding example where they looked beyond their own 4 walls and were impressed with wayfinding systems in airports. That said, they've enhanced graphics, signage, navigation, and technology within a store level, and plan by the end of this year to have 200 stores outfitted with their new design and another 800 to 1,000 by the end of fiscal year 2021. This inspiration is something that is available and needs to be acted on. I applaud Walmart's efforts to invent a new shopping concept. Inspiration is coming from unlikely partnerships. Hy-Vee's partnership with DSW is an example where the chairman, CEO, and president of Hy-Vee said, our customers are looking for lifestyle categories in a convenient, easy to shop format. And they recognized that footwear was a category that could be successfully integrated into Hy-Vee stores. The test proved successful, and they're rolling this out to more locations as we speak. There have been other unlikely partnerships, whether it's Kohl's announced integration of an Amazon Fresh in California locations, Canadian drugstore Rexall partnering with Staples to offer curated office supplies inside of a drugstore, or Walgreens and Kroger Express within a Walgreens store. These are some examples of unlikely partnerships that are creating better consumer experiences, one-stop shops. This reinvented thinking is something that's going to last for many years to come. Inspiration to deliver better experience. Kroger has announced that they're expanding a Michigan site for micro-fulfillment. This, along with many other retailers such as H-E-B and others, are doing similar things. They're integrating technology to help with this deluge of demand that was created at the start of pandemic, to upgrade systems to handle e-commerce in a localized market. This is another trend that is going nowhere, not going away anytime soon. Inspiration to bring technology into the store. We've all been keeping an eye on Amazon Fresh out in Woodland Hills and the integration of Alexa technology and Amazon Dash Cart into the store experience. Others are certainly experimenting with similar technologies, but Amazon is implementing and opening this store and others as we speak. I could also speak about technology all day long, talk about contactless checkout, improved delivery using drones, or sidewalk delivery robots. Technology is at the forefront of retail reinvention. Another example is inspiration to free up teams to deliver service. The Schnucks example is an outstanding use of robots in the aisles. These robots are managing inventory and out of stocks. It's allowing those tedious tasks to be removed from the associates, giving them more time to focus on customers. Using technology, data-driven systems, and partner organizations to overcome resource constraints is nothing new. However, in today's environment, doing it effectively has become vital. So with those as a backdrop of inspiration, let's talk about how to address efficiencies at retail. As Mark alluded to at the beginning, labor savings, sales improvements, and overall productivity are three levers that must be accounted for. Our founder, Dave Hamacher, had a very simple mission statement when he began our company a little less than 41 years ago. Dave said he wanted to improve the productivity of inventory, space, and people at retail. That mission statement applies today, and perhaps is on steroids today. We all need to improve the productivity of inventory, space, and people. It remains our commitment today, and a commitment that I'm sure those listening have also adopted. When we look across any brick and mortar retail operation, we see multiple stakeholders who need to work together to achieve a positive outcome. Retailers, brands, fixture manufacturers, and store-level implementation partners all are working together to improve this speed of implementation. Having conducted many value stream mapping exercises on behalf of retailers, large and small, we see tremendous opportunity to improve efficiencies, reduce costs, increase the speed of implementation. Similarly, we've worked with clients on the e-commerce side of their operation. We've worked to streamline functions, improve the consumer experience, enhance consistency of inventory, and deliver seamless visualization across their omnichannel enterprise. All of these elements need to work together toward a better solution. In the general merchandise area, we've worked with cosmetic companies, hardware companies, RV supply companies, and countless others in reinventing merchandising to make it easier to navigate, easier to implement, and easier to maintain. Looking more closely at one of the areas that seems to bubble up to the top in brick and mortar space and is low-hanging fruit, ripe for improvement, is the fixture reorder process. Legacy systems are often wrought with inconsistencies, complexity, and lots of room for errors and redundancy. This results in high costs, lost labor, and deteriorated customer experience. Working with brands, retailers, fixture suppliers, and service companies, we have seen significant savings in a number of areas highlighted here. And every one of these savings is anchored in time, money, or staffing resources. Remember a little while ago, I talked about resource constraints that are facing retailers today. Brands can step up, suppliers can step up and fill the gap. Service partners such as Hamacher can also lend a hand to improving that productivity and enhancing the overall delivery. I'd like to share with you an example of a reorder challenge tool that we built to really highlight the benefits that could come. Now, whether it utilizes the Hamacher solution or some other solution, again, this is an area ripe for improvement. The sample data at the right of the screen shows estimated savings in labor, misordered parts, and administrative time associated with a typical 300 store operation. The bottom line is about $23,000 worth of savings by reducing the time of labor and those errors that are made due to redundancy or misordered parts. If I highlight now a 2,000 location store or operation, or keep in mind, this could be a 500 location operation with 4 resets in a year. The annual saving dances out to over almost $175,000. Not bad when you think about how you might want to invest that to improve the customer experience. With a simple solution of improving efficiencies in the reorder process, hundreds of thousands of dollars could be saved in that process. As I move forward with retail imperatives, I want to review a little bit about what we've talked about. We've looked at the retail realities that have emerged during these unprecedented times. We've shared some examples of inspiring stories of retail innovation from multiple types of operators, mass merchants, drugstore operations, retail grocers. We've discussed approaches to improving efficiencies and to reduce costs, improve sales, and shift labor expense to be more productive. And just a moment ago, I demonstrated how automation of the fixture reorder process could result in significant savings to an organization. Finally, I suggested at the beginning of this presentation, I would end with 4 imperatives that I believe are shaping the future of retail. Approaches to category management must be rethought. Again, what we did yesterday will not work tomorrow. Think about all of the areas that go into the category management process. How many hands are touching that process? How much time is it taking to set up new items? How much logistics could be reduced getting product to shelf? All of that is under reconsideration now. Secondly, speed is essential, not just in getting product to the shelf, but speed in decision, speed in implementation of new graphics, new navigational tools, new technology. It's been said there's been 10 years of acceleration since January 1. I don't see it slowing down. That train has left the station. Measurement is no longer done in months or quarters. It's done in days and weeks. Looking in the rearview mirror over past quarters, elements is no longer a true measure of what happened last week. Our own organization is analyzing data now down to the weekly level. We are making decisions more quickly on new item evaluations and recommendations for our retail partners. We've also seen collaboration efforts stepped up. The imperative going forward is organizations are going to have to overcome their resource constraints by relinquishing some of their central control. They're going to need to find, you are going to need to find a trusted resource partner to pick up some of the heavy lifting. And make no mistake, technology will play a central role. I didn't even put technology as a retail imperative because it's a table stake to get today. Everybody has to have an eye on technology. So between category success and rethinking, the speed that's required, the measurement in days, not quarters, and collaborative efforts, retailers will need these elements in place to be successful in the future and thrive. Our organization has been around for 40 years. We've been focused on improving results across the retail supply chain. We look forward to partnering with you as you continue your journey in reinvention. And if you want to discuss how this applies to your operation, please get in touch. I'm Dave Wendland of Hammacher Resource Group, Vice President, Strategic Relations. My contact information is on the screen. I welcome the opportunity to figure out how we can work together as we span the retail supply chain, working with retailers, wholesalers, manufacturers, and technology partners to enhance the consumer experience. I'm confident we can bring value to your organization. And look to GMDC for additional insights and all of the great work that Mark and his team and all of his partners are doing to bring insights and help you deliver them to action. Mark, I'm going to turn it back over to you and to wrap things up on this October 12th presentation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Dave. As always, I really appreciate everything that you bring to the table, at least for GMDC and our membership. It's truly is a different world today, as we know. And I really enjoy your four imperatives. Even from a top level, I think it's a good reminder as we all get really deep into our businesses that we need to really pull out once in a while and poke our head around and really understand what's going on in the business world. As you say, as we start changing everything from week to week, it's a huge, can be for some of our brands and retailers, a really huge resource drain to retool that quickly and then change all the efforts and double back even the very next week. So really great point. Thank you for that.
You know, I really like what you said in terms of getting your head out from the weeds, so to speak. We're constantly managing our businesses so close to our face because things are changing quickly and we don't want to lose sight of what's right in front of us. But to paraphrase an old expression from Yogi Berra, who said, you can see a lot by looking around. I think we need to get up above the fray, look and identify where we believe the market is going, and place a stake in the ground to say, this is the direction that we as an organization are going. And yes, you may need to pivot along the way, but you've got to have an end game in mind in order to reach the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dave, thanks again. Let me go ahead and turn it back to our audience. I'd like you to know that you can watch this learning track and all previous tracks as a recording inside our virtual event conference guide. Each session is being recorded and being linked up in case you've missed this or other sessions. Please also know that you can check your guide for upcoming learning tracks and add them to your calendar as a reminder to attend the ones that matter most to your business. So thanks again, Dave, for joining us and your involvement in the GMDC Retail Tomorrow ecosystem. Please reach out to me, all you who are watching, anytime at markm@gmdc.org. I'd love to help you connect to people and companies that can really drive opportunity for you. So thanks again for joining us today. Take care.